Welcome back. You are watching Choice 2017. Many thanks for staying with us. We've just seen an interview there with our associate editor here at KTN News, Noah Otieno, speaking to one of the aspirants for the Nyando parliamentary seat. I would like this gentleman here to react to it. A number of things have come up. He said he's a darling of the people and it's high time they reward him for the good things he's done for Nyando constituency or the people of Nyando constituency, as well as the issue of aspirants not being briefed when the polls are being cancelled for the particular areas that they come from. I would start with you, Professor.
First of all, with regard to this particular candidate, I am disappointed.
Why?
He got an opportunity to pass his political message and he wasted it. Instead of persuading the Nyando people that he can be their darling, he told us that he's their darling. In other words, he has elected himself or elevated himself to the position of being a darling.
And how do you measure how much a darling of the people you are?
By the way, this is self-aggrandizement. In other words, he has carried out projects that he selected on his own. He has completed them. He has regraded himself. And he has said a darling here would mean an equivalent of an A. Now, here is a verbal darling that is not a practical darling. I wish he had told us, for example, that when he delivered the books he's talking about, the response was this, and it was encouraging.
Okay.
If he had gone and helped somebody to pay fees from a poor family, the response was this, and it is on this basis that he's optimistic. Not about being darling, you know, is a very expensive.
All right. And on the issue of aspirants being on the dark when these polls are being cancelled in their, or postponed in their particular areas?
Actually, it's a classic example of how not to manage anything, leave alone primaries. Primaries are very sensitive exercise, and all stakeholders should be brought on board as early as possible so that when failure occurs, they can look at it from the point of view that this is a mistake of omission or a commission.
All right.
But when you, due to incompetence, unpreparedness, or deliberate negative action, there is very little to say in terms of forgiveness.
All right, Calvin, quickly, then we go to my colleague in Kitui.
I didn't want to say much about this candidate, but looking at his background, he's just worked for KRA, and his demeanor and body language, he's fit to be a deputy governor. That is what he can do, not even a governor. Because the job he's going for, the primary goal is to represent your people in a house where people compete in speaking. The guy is slow in his responses
and he's calm.
And is definitely deviating from the key issues. I don't know who else is a candidate in Nyando other than maybe Jared Okello, the eloquent guy who appears here many times. If I was a voter, I would give him 2 votes.
All right, finally, this was...
Kenya is all staged by impunity, mediocrity, and corruption. And one would expect somebody who wants to go to the National Assembly, to be a member of the National Assembly, to be running from those 3. When you look at this candidate, and maybe not just limiting ourselves to him, all the people who are running for this party primaries, there's none who is inspiring. And that's why the quality of debate at the National Assembly is so horrible, it's so poor. Like as we go to these elections, right now you would challenge anybody in Kenya to name for you, say, 10 members of the National Assembly. You'll be hard-pressed. The same happens in the Senate. For me, I'm not a voter in that particular constituency. But when I see that in the unlikely event that this gentleman wins, I don't think when he goes to the National Assembly, he'll come up with any bill which is very solid. Like, for instance, having worked at KRA, I would have expected him to say that he's going to propose some bills to increase taxation in Kenya. Because most Kenyans don't pay taxation, especially the political class where he's joining and the rich. They would have said, when I go to the National Assembly, I'm going to propose a certain bill. That would inspire people at the national level. And if you've been giving sanitary towels every day and donating books, that is not sufficient for you to become a leader.
All right,
that's a responsibility for civil society.
Okay, this must quite harsh on that guy, but of course we wish him well as he takes on other aspirants for the Nyando parliamentary seat. Let us now cross over to our political editor, Ben Kitili, who is joining us from the county of Kitui. The Wiper primaries there were being held today, and he's now going to give us an update. Ben, good evening.
Good evening, Akisa, and we are where we started early this morning at 6 a.m. at the Central Primary School in Kitui Town, one of the major polling stations here in Kitui Central Sub-County, the county of Kitui, where now, as is happening in many polling stations across the county, vote counting and tallying is underway. As you can see here in this classroom behind me are election officials from the Wiper Party busy, of course, counting the ballots of all the elective positions here that were cast in these polling stations. Hawk-eyed political candidates, agents are here to make sure that the process goes on unabated and in a free and fair manner, very carefully, one by one, counting the ballots that will count in these key battles from the MCA all the way to the gubernatorial race. And of course, what we want to be doing is giving you results at this particular point in time. And we have some results for you just from these particular polling stations only, and that for the gubernatorial seat only. And what we can tell you, the official results here, provisional results, but they are from the election board, the National Elections Board of Wiper, is that in the gubernatorial race, the incumbent governor, Dr. Julius Malombe, has garnered 746 votes, while the senator of Kitui, who is his opponent in this particular battle, has garnered 182 votes. 10 votes were spoiled in this particular polling session as far as the gubernatorial race is concerned. Dr. Julius Malombe, governor, 746. Senator David Musila, 182. 10 spoiled votes. There are a lot of results doing rounds on social media. We do not want to announce those here on national television. They are not credible. But we are here all night to just get the latest numbers from the Wiper National Elections Board and bring that to you. That is all we have. But, of course, hawk-eyed agents are here for the candidates, for the aspirants, to make sure that the process goes on in a very good way. So we did speak to both candidates, but one who we didn't speak to is the senatorial candidates, and we have one here with us. That is Enoch Wambua, a former journalist, former editor at the Standard Group, a former colleague of mine. Good evening, sir.
Good evening to you, Ben.
Vote counting and tallying, how has the day been for you?
Well, good evening, everyone. The day has been long, but very exciting. We started off very early in the morning with the casting of our ballots. That is now behind us, and we are in the process of tallying, and it's going on well.
What's your take? I know we are doing the results, but what's your take on some of the allegations that were made by especially the gubernatorial aspirants accusing one another of not getting involved in not transparent or irregular activities concerning the nominations?
I think my take is that this exercise so far has been fair. We, of course, don't expect the National Elections Board of the Wiper Democratic Party to be perfect. There are weaknesses here and there, but on account of 10, I think they have done 7%. That's good enough. 7 out of 10. That's good enough.
All right. What's your strategy? What are you expecting, and what's your strategy after that?
I'm expecting a win, of course, a landslide victory, because we prepared very well for this election, and we are very ready for the 8th. August 2017 general election. I am confident, and my team is very confident, that Enoch Wambua will be the senator of Kitui County in 2017.
Thank you and all the best. Enoch Wambua there, sounding very confident, senatorial aspirant in these Wiper nominations. Akisa, we are here all night to bring our viewers the latest official numbers from the Wiper National Elections Board concerning the big battles here in the county of Kitui. Back to you, Akisa.
Ben, thank you very much for that. And as he says, I will continue to keep vigil until when the last vote has been counted and the results have been announced for the various constituencies, the gubernatorial race and the senatorial race that are being seen there in Kitui County. So I will give you a chance to just give us the closing remarks. I understand we don't have too much time. What are some of the things you would expect to see in tomorrow's primaries, Kisumu, Siaya, as well as the Jubilee zones, as well as on Wednesday?
First of all, I would like to congratulate the Wiper Party for carrying out what looks like an organized primary. At least that's a relief. It's a change from what we have been seeing.
It's positive feedback for Wiper.
Really, I think you must give them that. Now, secondly, it gives you an impression of a party that is not internally at war with itself, which is a very big positive. Going back to tomorrow's primaries, both in ODM and Jubilee, for me, I am only partially optimistic that there will be a slight improvement. I don't expect a significant improvement in ODM because there are a lot of people who initially used to get a free ride are now having to carry the can on their own. So when
isn't that a good thing?
Let me put it's a very good thing, but these are the people who are likely to cause trouble because they have never really had a chance to carry themselves through an election. And if I take Migori, for example, you know, Obado has been there before. So to me, he's prepared. Ayako has not been at that level, but he's been in politics for a long time. There's going to be a fairly rough fight. Now, for me, when you look at PESA and UNET, there will be a strong political argument, but they're not likely to be a very big challenge for UNET.
Okay.
Notwithstanding, now when you look at the Jubilee side, they have an obligation to do it better, even a notch higher than they did previously.
There's pressure
to get it positively correct.
All right.
And I would like to actually wish them well.
All right. Professor, thank you very much for that. Calvin?
I think what I need to remind you here, and you will see it tomorrow, nobody is going to accept any of these results in the ODM strongholds because the way these things have been carried. The reports are that in Homa Bay, these things began at 2, some roads were blocked, some places had fewer ballot papers than expected. And so is Migori. I don't know what is going to happen in Kisumu tomorrow. But we are going to see a repeat of this in the general election on 8th of August because those giant candidates are going to take other parties if they are beaten, and we are going to have a battle again.
It's a do or die.
Yes. You know, before, after the primaries, the rest were just a walkover. But this time, the battle is going to be taken to the general election.
Okay.
One has to congratulate Jubilee. I think today they've done very well, and probably that's because of the deputy president who is running the show. Because the only places, there were a few incidences in Kirinyaga where there was a shortage of ballots. I think that was sorted out.
Yes, in Kirinyaga, even now, there's some people who are yet to vote.
Yeah, so in as much as last Friday we were beating Jubilee, I think today they deserve a pat on the back, and one hopes that they're going to maintain it through. But the worrying thing, Akisa, is that every candidate is telling people to remain peaceful. I'm wondering when Kenya as a nation we sank so low that we expect that there's going to be violence, happening after every election. And I'm hoping that as we make progress, and today Major General Kaiseri and the Inspector General of Police by night said that peace is going to be a bare minimum. So it's very disturbing for us to be told that we need to maintain peace. That is supposed to be the bare minimum, that there's going to be peace. And anybody who engages in any manner to breach that, it should be dealt swiftly. And we want to congratulate Kaiseri for doing that because there was a case in Mombasa the other day whereby policemen were stopping agents from going to check on the ballots, which is unacceptable.
All right. We'll wrap on that. I wish we had more time for this.
Obviously.
But thank you very much. My guests tonight, Professor Oweri Tumbo, political commentator, Calvin Owedi, political analyst, as well as Dismas Mukua, political risk analyst. We asked you on Twitter, are you satisfied with the manner in which political parties have conducted their party primaries? 14% of you say yes, and 86% of you say no. We have 2 more days to go. That is if there will be no extension. And of course, we will be seeing how the battles go down in the counties as well as the major cities we have. My name is Akisa Wandera. Many thanks for joining us here. Yvonne Okwara comes in next with KTN Primetime News. Of course, more details and more updates. So do stay tuned for that. Have a good night.